Sonic models, the peak of Sonic controversy. How Sega has been using the same Sonic the Hedgehog model for almost 17 years since Sonic Unleashed was released, or 21 years if you count the Shadow the Hedgehog manual. To make matters even worse, our beloved game, Sonic Forces, decided to introduce a version of the model with shorter quills and a lighter shade of blue that just limits the capacity of expression Sonic could have otherwise had. And it has been used in all Sonic games developed by Sonic Team since Sonic Runners in 2014. I understand this issue many Sonic fans are bringing up. However, I believe that just changing these models isn't going to fix the main issue we're dealing with here. Look at this model, or this one, I don't care, seriously. Is this the end of the world? Is this that bad? Oh well, no, I'm sorry. This one or this other one are just fine. Sonic can express himself a lot. He can still look cool. The problem is that the franchise has been using this model for far too long, and it just makes the minor issues and nitpicks about this model far more apparent, and it limits the range of uniqueness a Sonic game could have otherwise had. And that right there is a deeper problem with the visual direction of the Sonic series, an issue that lies way beyond the simple models of the characters. The art style of variety. Bear with me for a moment. Before Sonic Unleashed, which looks amazing by the way, nothing against it, I want to live, Sonic had a variety of different art styles and directions in every single game basically. The art style of the Sonic Adventure duology was different than Sonic Heroes art style, which was different than Sonic 06's art style, which was different from the Sonic Riders art style. Each game was handled with a different vision in mind, because it was taking advantage of Sonic's insane range of visual styles that made him so iconic to this day. People talk about how the classic games had different branding in the United States compared to Japan, but at the end of the day, the sprites and in-game artwork remained the same, because Sonic is still a recognizable character despite those changes. To me, what made Sonic appealing was the original Japanese intentions and roots of the character, how he's more of a symbol than a character, and his personality that was unique from anyone at the time. But that idea was so great that even when Sonic went through massive localization changes, he still remained an icon the exact same way. To go a little further into this issue, I will cover how we got to where we are now and how Sonic Team could fix this. So with that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this objectively correct opinion piece. I think there is no better place to start with how the Sonic models began by covering how we even got to this basic design of Sonic with Sonic Adventure. This was basically the first Sonic game considered to be in the 2000s Sonic era, despite being released in the very late 90s. And for the first time, we actually got new designs for each character, and I must say, they all look awesome. The 3D low-poly models look great, despite the cutscenes being the cutscenes in Sonic Adventure. The characters were filled with soul and overflowing with personality. Bro, look at this. This is peak. But what really makes this art style work in Sonic Adventure is the harmony of it all. The new designs perfectly fit this new world of Sonic Adventure. The exaggeration of the characters, how they're taller, some have darker colors like Sonic, and the new eye colors. It all fits what Sonic Adventure was trying to achieve with its feel. It's all more surreal, exaggerated, and grounded. The darker colors fit the more grounded, real-world look of the world. The eye colors make Sonic characters feel far more in place around these anime-like humans walking around. There is no different models and different environments. They're all just one, and the result is an unforgettable looking game that was genuinely made with care for the franchise. Sonic Adventure 2 might have shifted just a bit to the more realistic side, but they made the characters taller and ever so slightly less exaggerated to fit that vibe. But it continues the harmony of it all. That really creates a kind of magic to these games. A good example of what happens when you take that magic away can be seen in the 100% reward of Sonic Adventure 2, a 3D version of Green Hill Zone. This just looks wrong. The darker, more grounded Sonic doesn't fit the vibe of Sonic 1. He just feels out of place and screams at your face, "This is just a bonus, we're not taking this seriously." And that's really the problem Sonic Team was facing in the 2000s. If they want to try something new, they have to give this new Sonic design they created a new reinvention, just so they can try multiple art styles in the future, and you can clearly see that in Sonic Heroes. The characters had to be made shorter, less exaggerated, and take some slight elements of classic Sonic to fit this more fantastical look of Heroes they were going for. And when they had to make Sonic 06, they had to change it again for a far more grounded Sonic. and yet the character still felt out of place. But Sonic Team was trying to make the most out of their talent when they made spin-offs like Sonic Riders and Sonic Battle. Sonic Riders made the characters taller, more exaggerated, gave them the coolest gear imaginable, and perfectly fit the futuristic racing vibe of the game. Sonic Battle, despite reusing some sprite work from Sonic Advance when in-game, still had an insanely stylish look. Just look at this and tell me this isn't peak, bro. I don't even have the vocabulary words to describe this. Which leads us to the game that managed to work too well. Sonic Unleashed. I love Sonic Unleashed more than the next guy. Exhilarating Sonic stages, really fun traditional platformer with the Werehog. Polished and visually amazing. And this Sonic model was very fitting for what they were going for with the game. An animated version of the real world. You can really see that they were trying to make the first playable Pixar movie. Back when Pixar was actually trying to be visually cool and not whatever this is. Yeah, I know, this Sonic model has been a thing since Shadow 05 and was the main render featured in the marketing of Secret Rings. But this is when we truly got it. Now that they have the proper technology to feature the model they've been flirting with for 3 years at that point, they thought, why don't we just leave it the way it is? See, this Sonic model is great because it kind of has the ability to fit in anything. A more classic Sonic style, it can. A more realistic style, sure. So instead of trying to make more Sonic models that fit those styles, instead they decided to do something else. Get the Sonic model, water down the Pixar-ish lighting, and slap it on top of every single other Sonic game that would come later. It doesn't look bad, but it just feels limiting. It might sound counterintuitive to what they were even trying to do with this model, but it feels like all Sonic games have been limited to this model. It feels like Sonic games can't make big, significant changes to their art styles anymore. And it's just sad, because since the very beginning, Sonic as a character was made with the idea of being able to fit everywhere and anywhere and still be recognizable, even with different brandings, marketing teams, artists, heck, even a different set of personality traits. It makes me miss the time when Sonic games used to have a variety of uniqueness to themselves, which is not a good thing to miss because I only got into Sonic in 2023. Anyways, time to bring up Mario because I feel like risking my life in the hands of the Twitter thought police. Why not? You see how since Mario Odyssey, every main Mario game has had an insane level of variety. Mario Odyssey made Mario look kind of different to how he used to be in the Nintendo Wii and Wii U era, with a few exceptions. I would say that Mario had the exact same problem with generic art styles as Sonic with brand models that didn't change for a long time, but you all are not ready for that conversation. You see how Odyssey looks different than the latest platformer Mario game after Odyssey, Mario Wonder, which looks different than the controversial kart racing game that shall not be named. You see how each game is unique despite one being released right after the other. That right there is what I want Sonic to be. I might be sounding negative in this video until now, but believe me, there is hope for a future of Sonic that looks like this. Dream Team. The antithesis of everything mobile games have become. No microtransactions, no boring gameplay, no battle pass, no loot boxes. Just a game to play on your Apple device. Anyways, I cannot be talking because I never played the game and I won't do it until I have $5,000. Anyways, look at this. The models are sort of the same, but at the same time, no. These characters are insanely expressive. Their colors seem to be brighter, the renders look perfectly fitting for what the game is going for. It's just pure beauty, bro. Even the slideshow type cutscenes are expressive, and they're just sequences of images I could make with my own editing. You really see how Sega Hardlight understood what made a good Sonic art style. They weren't insecure, not for a second. They knew that Sonic the Hedgehog was a character that could always be interpreted in all sorts of different ways, and they understood that the many ways in which Sonic can be seen is exactly what makes the character such an icon. Why don't we fast forward to a year later, to Sonic X Shadow Generations? Not the game, the prequel animation. Dark Beginnings is a masterpiece. The character design still had the fundamental elements of the base game, but how the animators were able to turn this otherwise alright art style into an epic anime is insanely impressive. And don't even get me started with the visual techniques they use. So, in case you don't know, Dark Beginnings was made by an extremely talented anime studio that used techniques such as blending CGI with 2D animation and created amazing results that speak by themselves. The characters are quite expressive, but what makes this so refreshing is how it was very different than any other animation to come before, even though these look amazing too. In conclusion, reverting Sonic's model back to how it used to be in Sonic Unleashed or just giving us a new one won't fix the main issue here. What we really need is for Sonic Team to create not one new art style, but be confident enough to give us a variety of new Sonic art styles, make Sonic's model one thing in Frontiers 2, and make it a different thing entirely in Frontiers 3, when I'm 90 years old. Or why don't you just be confident and make the sequel to Sonic Superstars completely hand-drawn? If you make a Sonic fighting game, make it with a style similar to Sonic Battle. We need styles of Sonic that are bold enough to change things radically, just like how they did in the 2000s, and just like how Mario is doing now. When we ask for a new Sonic model, we're asking for a band-aid. It's not gonna make Sonic Team try new things with the visual identity of the franchise. I want to keep it crystal clear that if the time is right, we can use the current Sonic model 100%. We can use it for toy selling, marketing, or even a game if the art style works. Maybe if they want to make a Sonic Runner style game, they could even bring back the original Sonic Runners model. But if you want a bold new art style, create a new Sonic model that works with it and is properly expressive. Sonic's visual identity isn't fragile, and that's why he's an icon as we know him today. The final takeaway from this video is that we desperately need a cel-shaded Sonic game, and with all that said, bye bye.